What's up, everyone? This week on the pod, we are doing another episode where we choose our favorite albums, our favorite two albums of each year. And this year we are doing 1990 to 1994. And here are the rules. One album has to be California punk or hardcore. And the other one is a full-on wild card. So it can be any genre, any style. Both of your picks can be any sort of format. So it can be on a tape, 7-inch LP, whatever you want it to be. That's that. If you would like to support the podcast, please like, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. That is very important. Haven't gotten any reviews recently, so please lay that down. You can just go in and say, I enjoy this podcast. And that stuff goes a lot of way for the podcast to gain traction. If you want to go the extra mile.
It's not like you're
not
like you're doing much right now. Just go on and do it.
Yeah, and hit subscribe so you know. But the thing comes out every Wednesday morning. But hit subscribe so you don't gotta look for it every week, and then you just get it in your feed. Although I don't know how it really works on Spotify. That's how it works on the Apple stuff and some of the other programs. Spotify, you might have to actually look it up every week. But they're coming around. They're investing in podcasting and stuff.
If you do say you like something on Spotify, it does give you push notifications telling you that something new is up.
Okay. All right. I must have the push notifications off on my Spotify because I've never gotten an announcement that my pod comes up.
Yeah, but even if you have push notifications turned off, when you log on, it will say, hey, this is a new release from an artist you like, or this podcast has just come out with a new episode today. Do you want to listen?
Yeah, so give it a like on there, dudes. And I would appreciate that. Then if you want to go the extra mile, you can go to patreon.com/185 miles south and become a monthly Patreon. You kick in a little bit of money every month. And we've been working hard on creating extra content. Almost every week, there's a extra Patreon episode where generally what we do is we dig in behind the interview or the episode and go through some music and talk about it and talk about the podcast. So I think you will enjoy that. You should check it out. The other thing you can do to support me and this podcast is I got 2 records coming out this year. We're doing a new Nardcore comp that's going to be on Indecision Records. I believe it's going to come out possibly the first week of September. I will have new details for you very soon, but I would much appreciate it if when the record comes out for pre-order, if you guys check that out. Put a lot of time and energy into curating a new Nardcore comp. The LP, I think it has 24 bands. Every single song is exclusive. You got everything from the classics, Ill Repute, Stalag 13, and False Confession. You got Retaliate. You got a new In Control song. You got some of the current bangers like Dead Heat. You got Downpresser. You got Minus. You got Charman. You got almost everyone that's firing right now. You got some of the younger bands. You got everyone. So when that comes out,
do you have Omega Point?
What's that?
Do you have Omega Point?
Oh yeah, and we got Stu's Omega Point. We got episode 1, The Legend Joe Rivas, Out of Trust. So if you like the pod, you want to support us, get that record when it comes out. Pre-order it. We'll have news soon, and follow me on social media and so forth, and you'll get updates on that. So yeah, you can check out my band, you can check out Stu's band, you can check out Joe's band on there, and super rad. The other thing that I'm super, super proud of, we just got done last Friday, we got done mixing the new Retaliate LP, and again, that's my band, and it's coming out on Indecision Records. When that comes out for pre-order in a couple months, I would appreciate if you would pre-order and buy that record too. If you care about the pod,
you can get that. You can get that a little bit early at the Oakland Coliseum swap meet at my table.
Nah, we're gonna do it legit. And but yeah, if you care about anything that I do, those are 2 huge things you can do to support me this year. It's the Patreon, it's buy that Nardcore comp, and it's buy that new Retaliate record, which is the greatest record of the year. Let's be real. But yeah, Daniel, you got anything?
I just think that it doesn't make sense to be listening to all of these things and not at least throw like $2 a month, which is half a cup of coffee, towards the Patreon to help Zach keep this going, because not only do you get like amazing Patreon content fueled by Zach, myself, Joe, etc., it's just simply something you can do and then forget. Like, you're not going to ever notice that $2 missing or $5 missing or $10 missing from a monthly income. So go ahead and do it. It's like supporting your scene, man.
Yeah, do what you can. There is a dollar option, so you pay $1 a month and you get behind the paywall. So you get all the content. Everything's the same, whether you do $1 or you do $20. It's just what you can do to support the pod. It is much appreciated. Please spread the word, tell your friends, etc., etc. And that was a long intro, so I appreciate you guys hanging on. And let's get on with the pod.
"185 Miles South", a hardcore punk rock podcast.
What's up, everyone? Today on the pod, we got a conglomeration of dudes. We're crossing streams. That's what's happening. And
Worlds colliding.
the worlds are colliding. We got
I mean, some could say it's star-studded.
one would say it's star-studded, and that person is Dan Sant. So yeah, what's up? We got Dan Sant on the line. What's going on?
What's up?
Yeah, we also got Stu from Omega Point.
Hey.
And we got the legend, episode 1, Joe Rivas.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, and what we're going to do today is we're going to do another...
Joe sounds good.
Oh, Joe sounds real good. All the time. And he looks real good. Have you seen him recently?
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man, I'm a fat old guy.
He's the only guy coming out of quarantine. He's the only guy coming out of quarantine and going to have to fight him off. So, but yeah. Okay, so this episode, we're going to do another episode of us choosing our 2 favorite releases from each year. And this time we're into the 90s, and the 90s are fucking hard because this is firing. Like, you're going to have like the explosion of like the punk revival shit, and then you're also going to have like, this is the best time for hip hop. This is the best time for death metal. This is like the beginnings of black metal. You have like, so, and then also if you like alternative stuff, it's popping off now too. I can't really speak on that stuff, but yeah, so like the 90s are crazy and this is hard. So we're narrowing it down to 2. Now each of us, we're going to choose one release, and one release has to be a California punk or hardcore record. The other record is a wild card. It can be any genre. Also, for both releases, it can be any sort of musical release. So it can be a demo tape, it can be a 7-inch, it can be a 10-inch, it can be a 12-inch, it can be a weird grindcore 3-inch. It can be whatever you want it to be, right? If some hipster band put out, actually no 10 inches, no 10 inches, worst format. But
Northern Sound's 10-inch, Zach. Don't disrespect.
Yeah, hey, I have the first Terror record as a 10-inch, and it's one of the greatest records, and it's on a 10-inch. Because that's the Reflections version. So, but yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 1990 through 94, and this should be wild. Plus, we got 4 dudes on the line, and we're all quarantining, so hopefully we don't talk too much over the top of each other. But let's get
carry on with what you were doing the other day.
Yeah, I'll kind of try to shuffle us through here. But you know, I
our cues from you.
I can't commit to anything because I'm gonna get triggered at some point. So
as soon as Daniel brings up Fugazi, it's over.
Hey, as long as it's a wild card, it's all good.
California pick.
It's gotta be a wild card, so it's all good. But yeah, let's get it started. And how should we do it? You want to go? Let's go alphabetical, huh? So let's start with Daniel.
1990 California hardcore record Inside Out, No Spiritual Surrender.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hard to
An
argue.
absolute masterpiece.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, so Stu and
Masterpiece lyrically,
Mhm.
masterpiece layout wise, and masterpiece musically. I mean, this is the perfect pivot record, and I'm not talking about the Poway Bro Band. The perfect pivot record from what would be recognized as youth crew to what would be recognized as metalcore. Like the pure emotion and riffs in this is just unbelievable.
yeah, one could say the apex of hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Daniel, you could almost say it's like the marshmallow right before it falls off the stick.
You know, when you're using that god level description.
God, I miss your analogies.
It's only fun when Daniel hates them.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely perfect, and Stu has picked it as well, so I'd love to hear his thoughts.
I mean, just everything, like the live shot on the front, and we got Zach De La Rocha on vocals, which is cool in itself. I just think the colorway, even of the of the 7 inches, rad too. Just like that light blue.
Yeah. City Blue, as it's known.
Yeah. Oh shit.
If you go 7-inch, you're cheating yourself out of 2 songs, dude. You should go CD
That's
EP.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cardboard case CD EP.
I just love Vic Carr's guitar work. Like coming from like something so straightforward as Beyond, it's like cool to see him kind of like dabble in that crazy guitar work.
It's amazing, right? And Chris Bratton's drumming.
Yeah, dude, the drumming's rad. And they have like, I love that song By a Thread. That's like, was actually the first song I heard, and I was like, man, this song is all melodic and weird.
I mean, there are 2 vocal things that happen in this that are, you know, not necessarily lines, that sum the entire release up and show why it is the greatest. Is the break and the oh yeah, like both of them just come at the most perfect ad lib time, and they're just brilliant.
Yeah, perfect.
Do you think that was the
ad,
first time
perfect hardcore ad libbing.
break was used?
Daniel, hardcore historian.
I think it's used on some youth crew stuff before, like break, but not in a break. You know, like kind of as urgent as it is on this.
Yeah.
Well, Minor Threat.
Someone's shuffling stuff around. Quit it.
Yeah.
Who
My
is
fucking dog.
Oh.
My dog.
Oh, word. Hey, quarantine ass pod. I would say that let's go back to Vic. I think that you know, his guitar is outstanding and Beyond, but I think you know where it stands out and it can actually sometimes it can almost pull you out of the song because there's so much going on. I think it really finds its home here in In and Out, Inside Out. You know, and it's just
I think pairing with Bratton on the pacing of the songs like allows his guitar to just flourish.
Yeah. I mean, what a combo, right? So okay. Or Joe, I can't remember. Do we do all the hardcore stuff together and then we do the wild card, or does Daniel drop both?
No. Well, we go
on to hardcore
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Stu and him are done, which means we move on to Joe Rivas.
So I chose instead What We Believe.
Ooh, love it.
Nice.
Their best LP.
I disagree, but I love it.
I love both. So, I mean, we talked about this in the '90s pod with the late '80s pod with the 7-inch in between and all that stuff.
Well, this release will have Zach like quoting the line and then ends up singing the entire song.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on. I'm not condemning those who sing around all riffs or write lyrics that don't make any sense. Yeah. I'll do it, dude. But I love this record. Yeah, so cool. Hey, Stu, you can also just mute your mic when you're not talking too.
Okay.
I chose this. I did a little weird thing. Well, not really weird. I chose it for the. How do I say this? Like I put myself in 1990 and what records meant something to me in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's sort of not fallen off. I still love the record, but there's other records from 1990 now that mean more to me. Does that make sense?
For California punk and hardcore, though?
Yeah.
Oh, like what? Can you toss them?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was going to go through it once we get to the other.
But I'm curious in the sake of this conversation.
The Jawbreaker Unfun.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, maybe you should go Jawbreaker Unfun then, dude.
No, I wanted to go with Instead because I did that with all of these picks. Like, where was I in 1990? What was important to me then? And that's what was important to me.
I did a similar thing, Joe. Like, I evaluated what was very important to me then and what still resonates at the top of the pile. Yeah. Like, I kind of comboed it.
Yeah. It still resonates with me. I just like the Jawbreaker more now. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this Instead record, and I think it's so cool it's on Epitaph. It also, like, it kind of highlights that time of, like, all the shows going off at the country club. You know, I'm sure it's directly correlated from Instead playing there all the time with Bad Religion, right? Is like the reason why they're on Epitaph. And
so cool.
Yeah, I just think it's super rad. Not that I was there. Definitely not into hardcore in 1990, but that's my take on it. And I love this record. I think that Bonds of Friendship is their weakest release. I think the 7-inch is the best by far, but I really like this record, and I like Bonds of Friendship too. I love All Instead. People should get the discography on indecisionrecords.com.
Absolutely.
It's got everything.
Yeah, totally. Right.
You know, it's got the demo too. So, but yeah, get that. And I love this pick, Joe. I think it's great. I had to go Bad Religion Against the Grain.
I knew you were gonna.
Bad Religion, probably my favorite band of all time, and this is maybe their best record. Suffer, probably my favorite, but also because of nostalgia. But these three in a row, this Suffer, No Control, Against the Grain, like Jesus, like what a threesome. And then toss in Generator. Generator is great, but it is a change of the sound. Like sonically, it totally changes into like a high budget modern sound. But the songs carry it. It's a great record too. But yeah, Against the Grain, just it's a pretty flawless record. I absolutely love it. And this is like peak Bad Religion. In my opinion. Like, you know, it's the last Pete Finestone record. So with the wild drumming and so forth, like this is the end of it. After this, like we're going to like that studio era Bad Religion where like the songs still carry it, but you like lose the punk wildness of it. And this has some of their biggest songs, you know. Anesthesia. It has whatever the fuck their hit 21st Century Digital Boy on it. It has my favorite Bad Religion song on it, which is God's Song. So yeah, absolutely.
Does it have Secret Garden on it, or is that a different?
Atomic Garden's on Generator.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my 1990. And for California punk and hardcore. Yeah, hey, how's this? We all like each other's picks.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, what's your wild card?
All right, this was really, really, really hard. So, in contention were James Goldmother, that has Sit Down on it, for anybody who's familiar. The first Mazzy Star record, Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet, and Sonic Youth Goo. All of these just bangers, but the one I went for was Sinead O'Connor. God, hold on one sec.
I do not want what I haven't got.
Skinhead.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's an absolute flawless record, a flawless voice, flawless heart and lyrics. And if you can listen to the song Black Boys on Mopeds and not cry, I think something's wrong with your insides.
Is this the album that has Nothing Compares to You on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, to put this in my timeline, like, this is when I'm like full loving butt rock and I'm 10 years old. And I used to hate that fucking song because it would always be on MTV and I have to sit through it. And it's like
taking time away from your Poison and
it's like, get to fucking Youth Gone Wild, dude. Come on. I want to hear Youth Gone Wild again. You know, shout out Benji. And
Benji.
Oh, serious Benji.
Yeah. Shout out to Benji. And then
do you know who covered Youth Gone Wild, Zach? Swindle have covered it.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And then shout out to Staffan in Sweden. He loves this record and he's the first guy that I know in hardcore and stuff that was like really putting on for this record of how good it is. And I have it on vinyl. I bought it because he loves it so much.
It's been a forever favorite of mine that I've come back to after a year of not, sometimes you don't listen to it for a while. In the last 5 years, I've listened to it like nonstop, but it's one that would kind of come back into my purview from time to time. And now when I'm just thinking about it, like, God, it's such an important record for me.
Yeah, and an early person ethering the Catholic Church, huh?
Well, she was right.
Well, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah,
absolutely. That's why I'm making the point.
There's a thing that, I encourage everyone listening, but especially you guys to watch. Whenever you think like you're up against it in life, watch Sinead O'Connor at the Bob Dylan tribute concert, which was a couple weeks after the SNL thing.
Yeah.
The entire of Madison Square Garden is booing her. And she's just standing there on stage, just like taking it in. And she delivers her performance, which is unbelievably powerful. Then walks off stage and just like collapses. But it's so hard. Like when we talk about hardcore, it's fucking hardcore. Like really, I encourage everyone to watch it.
Well, that was what do you call it? Like a sign of pure dedication to your morals and principles.
Yeah.
That she stood there and took all that crap. Yeah.
Well, plus she looks like Harley Flanagan in 1982.
Oh, Jesus.
So beautiful, for real. Like, Ben, she just has the same haircut.
So sick. So fucking tight.
Yeah. You got anything else on this, Daniel?
I really recommend, there's going to be tons of people that are like, oh, that's interesting that you would recommend that. And they don't go look up a record. If you've never heard it, I really do think, give it a spin on Spotify.
I've never heard it.
And more than just the two hit songs, because the whole record is good.
This is a fun.
The song Black Boys on Mopeds, it's unbelievable because it's about how Margaret Thatcher has or basically British politics have no care for the poor and the needy, or people of color, etc. And it just breaks it down in such a poetic way. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to say this is a fun one too, because if you do want to go out once the record stores reopen, this is like a $5 record. So
yeah,
it's gone up lately.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
So it's a fun one. Yeah. It's one you can dig for and get at a good price though.
And also shout out to whoever made those agnostic front rip-off shirts with, and instead of it saying skinhead, it said Sinead, and it had a picture of her kind of like moshing. It's pretty rad.
That's cool. That is cool. All right, moving on to Joe.
I chose. I had highlighted also Fugazi Repeater, the Violator from Depeche Mode, and Megadeth, Rest in Peace. But I went with Seasons in the Abyss.
Nice.
There.
I'm glad someone got it.
Yeah.
Because it's not as good as South of Heaven, which is an unpopular statement on this pod, but it's amazing. It is so amazing.
Yeah.
top to bottom. Every song is fantastic. The performances are all stellar. Rick Rubin treatment. So I think this is the last Rick record too, if I remember correctly.
With Lombardo.
Yeah, well, it's the last record with Dave until 2000, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's a long time. But I mean, his performance on that record is insane.
It's ridiculous.
It's some of my favorite stuff, Phil-wise, and I don't think the drum production's as good as South of Heaven on this, but I think the songs are a little bit better.
Different. It's not bad. It's just different.
I think it shows the diversity of their songwriting the best out of all their records. They're able to do, from a slow song like Dead Skin Mask to all the groovy songs on there, and then of course the fast blasts. And then they're also able to be catchy, because Season of the Abyss is a fucking catchy ass song, dude. So this is overall probably my favorite Slayer record, but from the Todd Pod from last week, he kind of talked me into it that the Rain and Blood is the greatest, just because it's like it's absolutely just unrelenting and crazy. Yeah. So these are my two favorite Slayers, though. No, I don't think there's a wrong answer between choosing these three. And even if you there's the first five, you could have an opinion to like them.
Absolutely.
Right? For sure.
So there's no wrong answer when it comes to these Slayer records, but I love this. I'm so glad you picked it, Joe.
Yep.
Yeah, and let's move on to Stu.
Okay, my wild card is the Burn 7-inch.
Okay, this is what I chose too.
Sweet, dude. Yeah. It's just such a mysterious, new school hardcore record. Like, there's no pictures of the band. Like, the art, you can't really even see what's going on. It looks like they paused a YouTube video or a VHS and just took a picture. And then, I don't know, their fucking logo is amazing. It's just the best handful of songs, I think.
Yeah,
on a 7-inch in terms of hardcore. Yeah,
on one of the pods we did with Daniel and Greg, they juxtaposed the Burn 7-inch and then the Inside Out, saying the Inside Out 7-inch is kind of like the Burn 7-inch of California. And I think that was brilliant. Totally. Because both of them are fully the apex of hardcore, in my opinion. Only in my opinion. I think that this is as far out there as you can take hardcore without kind of losing me, and without kind of keeping your footing solid in hardcore. You're doing some sort of deviation once you move beyond these two records. But yeah, the Burn and the Inside Out, it's this is the full apex of hardcore of building off from the beginning of what hardcore is and having it evolve and evolve and evolve. This is just the apex.
A major cornerstone.
Yeah, and lyrically, I mean, this is fucking top tier. It's the most brilliant lyrics. The Shall Be Judged is No More from Youth Today and Casting Dogs by Gorilla Biscuits probably get the most love when it comes to vegetarian songs, but this is the best.
This is the best. I have this tattoo. This is the best fucking vegetarian song in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Do you prefer Shall Be Judged or Shall Be Jugged?
Dude, I was just gonna say that, how they still judged 3 times on this fucking record.
Yeah, well, of course, I prefer the first press, Daniel, which would be Jugged. The way the drums sound on this record is so fucking wild, and nothing ever sounds like it again.
I think Alan Cage can easily be HOF'd as him and Chris Bratton as the two drummers that just don't put a foot wrong ever.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree.
And when we talk about the first 5 seconds on songs, how about this? Just coming in with that drum roll, it's it's on.
Oh, dude.
It's on.
Gets me so fucking hyped. And then that just breakdown is so epic.
Yeah.
I mean, when we talk about the mirroring of these two 7-inches on two different coasts, Vic and Gavin going hard, as hell. Both of them, like it is just like you say, it is a moment. It's a proper moment, and they're on the same label and everything.
Yeah, I think Lost and Found didn't take up the opportunity to like make a fake split of the two.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah, what's up with that? All right, so
probably listening in right now.
Yeah, so 1990 is such a wild year. There's like a million things that are like honorable mentions I wanted to go through. Other than some things that got mentioned, you got the Second Chain of Strength 7-inch. You have the Integrity,
Right,
in contrast to Sin.
Yeah.
In contrast to Sin 7-inch. You have Obituary, Cause of Death, the second record, which a lot of people think is the best one. The first Deicide record, which is like some of the most catchy death metal ever. Entombed, Left Hand Path. Some people think that's the best death metal album ever. You have Poison Idea, Feel the Darkness, which might be the best Poison Idea record ever.
That's a fantastic record.
Carnage, Dark Recollections, which is one of the most underrated of the Swedish hardcore bands. Death, Spiritual Healing. Cannibal Corpse, Eaten Back to Life, first Cannibal Corpse record. Atheist, Piece of Time. Again, this is one of the most underrated death metal records ever. And you got Napalm Death, Harmony Corruption. They're fully out of grind now, and they're going death metal. Maybe it's a little tweener, but yeah. But that's that.
Other amazing records that didn't get mentioned: Ride, Nowhere. George Michael, Listen Without Prejudice, Volume 1.
Yeah.
Happy Mondays, Pills, Thrills, and that's a god tier record for me. Of course, Fugazi Repeater and the Lars self-titled. Those are all. And of course, Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
I also had All Really Saved, All.
Oh yeah.
Nausea, Extinction, Born Against, self-titled. Pixies, Bossa Nova. It's fucking amazing. Living Color, Time's Up.
Danzig 2.
That's a good one. I like that record.
Is Danzig? I thought Danzig 2 is 91. No? Is Danzig 2 90? Yeah, amazing. That's my favorite Danzig record.
I don't care.
Also Shelter.
I'm not saying that I don't care about your opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying I don't really care for Danzig, but a lot of people love that record.
Okay, and Joe said Shelter, Perfection and Desire. Daniel, what was the Pills record you mentioned? I didn't get that.
Oh, Happy Mondays. Like
Happy
one
Mondays?
of my favorite bands ever. Pills, Thrills, and Bellyache.
What is that band?
You'd recognize the song Step On, I bet.
Okay.
Yeah. They were, what was the label?
Factory,
yeah.
They were the second half of the 24-hour Party People film.
Okay.
It's based on the Happy Mondays part of Factory Records.
Cool. Very cool. Let's move on to 1991. This was surprisingly a harder year to come up with a lot of stuff, I thought, for California punk and hardcore. It's just like, I don't know if like a shit ton of stuff happened at like the end of 90 and then beginning of 92, and just like 91's kind of a weird year or what. Right. But yeah, it was kind of a weird one. Anyway, Daniel, 91, California punk and hardcore.
Okay, so I'm not choosing like a comp, which is all the Up Ivy stuff that's put together. Although it's amazing, the two things that I put up there, Drive Lake Jehu, self-titled. That is such a ripping record. But my number one thing is the Filth side of the Filth Black split.
Oh, you love this.
Filth.
Nice.
That's my very favorite. And like you say, it was a leaner year of trying to find things that were California-centric. In this, the Drive Like Jehu self-titled record is so amazing. Coming out of Pitchfork, they do this band that it is definitely still very punk and it hones an entire sound which becomes San Diego, But the filth, just on the, well, not just on the strength of the song, The List, but if you want a song about punk and what it means to survey your scene and be jaded and questioning at one point, but then realize, you know what, there's nothing better than punk by the end of the song. That song is The List, and he has the most ripping voice of all time.
Dude, his voice rules.
Sounds like razor blades literally ripping apart a vocal cord.
Yeah, I love this pick, and that band rips. So, Joe.
I went with the self-titled from Down by Law. Technically, they were a Los Angeles band at the time.
Okay.
Nice.
And where did they move to?
Well, Dave moved back to D.C. area, Virginia, whatever.
Oh, they just all spread out. They're like Bad Religion now in Four Corners.
Because Dave's the only one in the band still, or Dave's the only constant member, right?
Okay.
So he had the guys from the Chemical People playing music for him here on this record.
Is this the best Down by Law?
No.
Their cover of The Proclaimers is.
Which is on Punk Rock Academy Fight Song. But I love them all because I just love Dave. So I love his voice, should I say.
Do you like the song about the Boston Terrier?
What's that?
It was when DYS came back and they did that song, Boston, Boston, da 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 da. It's like a Boston Terrier. We were born to fight.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not so much the Return record. Yeah.
Let's cut it off around 2010.
Yeah, I remember.
John Anastas in full Affliction gear and fedora.
Hey, say it to his face, Daniel.
Yeah. But that was my pick. I love this record. I still listen to it.
Cool. Well, I got to go. We're the ones, only ones, strong ones, proud ones. We live for today. Those are the past and tomorrow. Well, they'll have hell to pay. We're the ones, only ones, strong ones, proud ones. We live for today. Yep. I'm going Pennywise self-titled. And,
Whoa.
I mean, that song's done to death, but like when you're 13.
That's fine.
When you're 13, you love that song. And this song rips.
All I got to say is, Kenton, Colvin, Nichols, this pick is for you.
Yes. This is one of my entry punk records. And, I described on a previous podcast, liking butt rock and then liking death metal. And then in my young ass brain feeling like Bad Religion was kind of like a middle ground of those two because it has the melody plus the intensity. And then, Pennywise was my second favorite band other than Bad Religion when I only liked two punk bands, and so, and Pennywise is like, they're kind of like, I don't know, Bad Religion mixed with Anthrax. I don't know, like a little more on the, like they have a little bit of like speed metal crossover leanings more so than Bad Religion.
I could see that.
Yeah. I mean, Fletcher is playing a little more heavy metal style on guitar. He's palm muting, he's down picking, he's doing stuff like that. And so, and then it's just simplified. The lyrics are simpler than Bad Religion. It's easy. This album is blazing fast. The next album, what is it? Unknown Road is significantly slower. This is just really fast and awesome. I love it. I still have it, and I still listen to it probably once a year. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, those metal pieces in there are certainly a product of Stu's '88 pick, the RKL.
Oh,
I would say I'm not saying that he sounds like RKL. I'm just saying, or sounds like Chris Rest, but I'm saying that's made it okay to play that kind of stuff, if that makes
It's okay to be competent in your instrument.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Like it's like it's not unpunk to be good at guitar.
Absolutely not. But you have punk guitar players. At that time, I think there's punk guitar players and then metal guitar players. Those are two very different instrument players.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's go on to the wild cards. Daniel, hit it.
Did Stu give his pick?
It was Pennywise.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You guys were both at.
Stu, did you, you know what? I didn't go to Stu though. I totally jacked him. My bad on
You
that.
pretty much said everything. It's like we had the same experience. It's like, this is a gateway band for a lot of people. And, this band invented the bro. And it's fucking sick.
Bro him, fuck the world.
Yeah, it's just like, and then living in an area like Ventura, like everyone loves this band here, and like at least 15 people from my work will all go see them when they play the theater.
Like, because they actually surf too. They're like punk that actually surf.
Well, when the history of punk is told, the surfing and skating type connection gets left out a lot. I think skating might be a little more represented. But I think that there's a lot of, history with the surfing stuff. And I think that the Taylor Steele films, like Momentum, they really deserve a lot of credit for, putting like this type of band on. And then like now surfers, instead of liking, like a Jack Johnson type thing or only liking Bob Marley, like they're liking punk rock, and it's like surf during the day and go out and slam at night, So
don't miss my 2007 California choice of Jack Johnson.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it in a month or so. But
I gotta say, I don't know. I mean, at least locally here in Oxnard, surfing was always part of it.
Of course,
I know, but Oxnard doesn't even get mentioned on a punk rock documentary.
Well, that's true, but.
And I'm saying,
if I'm an outsider thinking of where surf punks and punks that surf are, Oxnard is the first thing that comes to my mind, and then Imperial Beach in San Diego, like next.
Yeah,
I'd say for me it's like Oxnard and then Hermosa. I don't know why.
Yeah,
because of Fletcher.
Because of Fletcher.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Surfing that day.
When you watch any sort of punk rock documentary, it's like the shit died sometime in the mid '80s, and then Nirvana and Green Day happened, Yeah. And that's the story of punk. And I'm just saying that like the reason.
But that's why you listen to 185 Miles South, because then you get real story.
That's why you listen to the punk rock MBA and get your real information.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
yeah.
All right.
Just fucking around. I edit that.
Surf's up, bro.
Surf's up. Surf's up on Silver Strand.
Paddle out to blow off stress.
Yeah, I got the bong.
I don't even know what they're doing on my waves. I gotta show them how we behave.
I got the bong between my legs next to my 24 ouncer. Shout out Strand Quentin. And
dude, that's what's up.
That is what's up. All right.
Yeah.
Daniel, let's go on to the wild card, 1991.
1991, again, another year of some amazing records, but the one that stands out to me and still, it was an absolute game changer at the time, and it's still one of the most important records I've ever heard, is Screamadelica by Primal Scream. It is the perfect amalgamation of the Manchester sound, which is Stone Roses, Happy Mondays, stuff like that, as well as the house music that was really kind of taken over British popular culture at the time, as well as Primal Scream being such fans of like things like Otis Redding and Stax Records and all the Southern blues and soul stuff. So it's kind of like this big melting pot of that, produced by Andrew Weatherall. And it doesn't sound as fresh today as it did then, but that's the beauty of it. It sounds like 1991 at the best possible time. And, I'm like, 14 or 15 around this time, and just in love with it. Oh, 15, yeah.
This is the album
So,
that
that's
Daniel lost his virginity to.
No, that was Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts.
Dude,
That's a short song.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I lost mine to Where's the Unity? I lasted half the song.
Oh, God.
All right, let's move on to Joe. Wild card.
My wild card. So I had two. There were three records that sort of like were in rotation for me, or they are now. So this is another year that I had to go back to 1991 and think, okay, well, what was more important? And it was Fugazi, Steady Diet, and Nothing.
What are the?
Oh, I love that.
Toss out the three, and then we went with Fugazi.
Oh yeah, so the other two were Peg Boy, Strong Reaction, and the Four Walls Solid Culture Shock.
Ooh,
Rad.
all good, but you chose the right one.
Yeah, I love that record. That's probably my favorite Fugazi record.
Mine's the next one.
Yeah,
That's the only one I own.
Is Steady
No way.
Diet?
Yeah. So I have it on cassette.
The thing that always struck me as a young listener to that was on Latin Roots, where it goes, "We came to meet Jamaica," but it sounds like "Meet Jamaicans."
Yeah, dude. Yes. I hear that too.
yeah, but you should have said that because that would go to our misrepresented lyrics pod that we were talking about doing.
Oh, true. Well, we can bring it back.
Yeah,
Long Division. The song
Long Division is
alone.
the song.
That's my song. Yeah, I love that song, man.
Yeah.
I think that
The
Peg.
Exit Only is a
For
great
such
song,
a
too.
song like that to be, in the canon of punk and hardcore because of the way it sounds, but God, it's incredible.
Exit Only
Zach,
is fantastic.
you want to comment
too.
on Fugazi?
No, I just think that Peg Boy is one of the most underrated bands ever.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I got to see them. I think it might have been 91 in Santa Barbara, and Peg Boy stole the show. They were.
Their name is about pegging, which is only something recently known to me.
I don't know. I could ask Dennis. He would know.
I'm thinking the right band, right? This is
88
this is the Naked Ray Gun band.
Yeah, well, it's guys from Naked Ray Gun. Yeah,
It's Albini in it too, right? Is Albini in it?
I don't think he's in this.
No, he just produces them, right?
He just produces it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe it's just that a lot of that Chicago stuff is criminally underrated. Like it's just like a symptom of being Midwestern, because the effigies are very underrated as well.
Right.
Naked
Ray Gun is. 88 Fingers Louie is.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The guitar tone on Bull Weevil's Heavyweight.
I mean, Rise Against is probably the only superstar band out of that area.
And Kanye.
Well,
Common.
No, the thing that, like, even just the way that, like, kind of their scene kind of guru, Albini, is so self-effacing that it kind of runs through the scene, it seems. Like, all those bands are very not ego-driven.
Yeah, there's zero dick waving.
except Smashing Pumpkins, but
They're Chicago?
Yeah, he's kind of
they're Chicago bands. Yeah.
Oh.
high on his own supply.
Huh. All right. Any more on the Fugazi record?
No, we can move on.
Cop it.
You want me to read any of these other ones?
Well, let's.
You guys still got to do yours.
Yeah.
You and Stu. I forgot.
Unless you don't care, then we can get to the honorable mentions. But yeah, Stu, go ahead.
91. I mean, that's like the best year of death metal.
Oh yeah, I got them all here.
But I know, dude, I can't wait. But I chose Integrity for those who fear tomorrow.
My man, how many do we have the same?
Dude,
I got it too. Yeah.
We're gonna check them out. I'm checking them out right now.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, in terms of 90s hardcore and just metallic hardcore in general, it's the most important record. Dwid, is a fucking madman. He's evil as shit and brought it to the hardcore world. And the riffs, the solos, like Meisha, like the whole thing, dude. It's such a good stuff.
Shout out the Melnicks, the brothers.
Shout out to that bass tone that follows Misha. Like,
Hey, yeah. Shout out to the worst snare tone ever.
Man, can you imagine if this record had like a great recording? It would be one of the top heavy metal records of all time.
I agree.
You know, it's like it would take something away from it, but I don't know, man. It's like these songs are so fucking good that like.
Well, I would treat it like them broken. Like I wouldn't change a thing about it. There's things I don't like, but that doesn't mean I would change them. You know.
You're right.
You wouldn't be able to hear it differently if it was changed. You know.
Yeah. This is my favorite Integrity record, just based on the songs. You know, although I love the entire career of Integrity, but this album is such a game changer for 91 to go this metal within hardcore. It really like busted open the gates, and
totally,
it's fucking amazing. It's so good. That's why I chose it. So, you got anything else on it, Stu?
Same. So I posted a flyer, and it was a crazy lineup at one point. It was like Lagwagon, Youth Brigade, Integrity, Lifetime, Dead Guy.
Yeah.
And Sean Stern gave his 2 cents on that show, and he said that he didn't know who Integrity was, nor any of his friends, and that like they were a bummer at that show, and there was a huge fight, and it sucked.
Of course.
Yeah.
Controversy reigns supreme when it comes to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Sean can be very brutal at shows about other bands and stuff. Good Riddance played with Youth Brigade and Eyelid at the Roxy, and Sean said he's talking about Eyelid, and he's I'm really glad somebody's keeping heavy metal alive on the Sunset Strip. Which they don't sound anything like that band, like hard rock, but that's what he was going for.
They were metal as fuck though, but not butt rock.
They were, but not butt rock.
Yeah.
Hey, those solos though, man. Again.
Anyway, yeah.
There's so many good records for this year too.
Yeah. Here, let me go through them. So shout out to Daniel's Home. One of my favorite albums of the year, Massive Attack, Blue Lines. And
amazing.
Love it. I was so close to picking this. Also Sepultura, Arise. Possibly the best Sepultura record this year.
Ooh, hey.
What's the best one? What's the best one?
Chaos AD.
Yeah, Chaos.
Oh, this one like it's the first one where like the production is all the way up, but they're still like fully just blazing. So I don't know. I love this one. It's probably my favorite.
Tekka's Godzilla.
Yeah. Dead Embryonic Cells. So then we got Dark Throne, Soulside Journey. It's their one death metal record. But it's a death metal masterpiece, dude. You don't like it, Stu?
I don't, and this is where I feel like we'll heavily disagree. Is like I'm not a big fan of the whole of like Swedish death metal stuff. Like, the only Entombed record I like is Wolverine Blues, and I feel like I don't like Dismembered very much, and I feel like this band kind of goes into that category for me. But so I like all their stuff after that. Like I love A Blaze in the Northern Sky, but that's my take.
Okay. Bolt Thrower, War Master, Autopsy, Mental Funeral, Malevolent Creation, 10 Commandments, Screeching Weasel, My Brain Hurts, one of my favorite albums of all time, Massacre from Beyond, Pestilence, Testimony of the Ancients, their third record and probably my favorite, Dismember, Like an Ever-Flowing Stream, some more Swedish for Stu, Death, Human, possibly the best death record. This is the first of what's considered to be like kind of their brilliant trilogy when they like break off and get like way more tech. Entombed, Clandestine, Suffocation, Effigy of the Forgotten, first Suffocation record. The moshiest death metal of all time. Cancer, Death Shall Rise, Cannibal Corpse, Butcher to Birth. And then for Daniel, we got Gangstar, Step in the Arena. And Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory.
Yeah, Low End Theory, so important. You got Metallica Black Album. It's a good record.
It's a crazy year for radio friendly music too, because there's so much stuff that influenced everything else to come. So
yeah, I mean, if you're talking radio friendly records, you got Nirvana, Nevermind, Achtung Baby by U2, and Out of Time by REM.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
And the Black Album, which is insane.
Yeah, records. I'm gonna say
10.
I love.
Oh, and Pearl Jam 10
from this time.
Jesus.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, the Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion.
Jesus Christ, 91.
Yeah.
Ozzy, No More Tears.
Jesus.
Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger.
Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. Pixies, Trompe Le Monde.
Yeah.
Indie rock masterpiece that is regarded as probably the best indie rock album ever in retrospective is Slint, Spiderland.
Ooh.
Say that one more time.
Of course, Spiderland by Slint.
Flint?
Slint.
Lint.
Slint. Okay.
There's the first full length from the Smashing Pumpkins, Gish.
I guess, yeah.
Green Mind by Dinosaur Jr. Death Certificate by Ice Cube. Fox Base Alpha by Saint Etienne, one of my favorites. Blur, Leisure, and let me see if I can say it backwards. E-Phil for Ziggin or Zaggin came out, as well as, if people know me, I'm a 90s Princeman, and Diamonds and Pearls by Prince came out this year.
Ooh, that's a good record too. I also had Murphy's Law, Best of Times, and Sick of It Always Stand Alone.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Ooh, Daniel did not shout Stand Alone.
Was that a boot? And also, Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped came out this year as well.
91.
And
hell of a fucking year.
Yeah, and Breaking Atoms by Main Source as well. Another classic hip-hop record.
Yes. All right, let's get on to 92, California Punk and Hardcore, Daniel Sant.
92, it might be the same as Joe. We might actually pair up on one here, but Jawbreaker, Bivouac.
Yeah, I put both Chesterfield King and Bivouac.
Oh, you put the EP?
Yeah.
Cool.
Which they later combined with Bivouac, so it's just one record later on.
Yeah.
But originally it's the two separates.
Look at episode 1 doing a Daniel style move.
What's that?
I said that was Joe doing a Daniel right there, combining the two records into one. You're not the only sly guy on here, bud.
The thing about Bivouac is, when you listen to Jawbreaker as a whole, Bivouac is a little bit strange. Like, it's more of like a really going for it on instrumentation and like longer songs, a lot more build, a lot more negative space on the songs for vocals, and a little less of their pop sensibility, but it is so great. Especially the song Bivouac. It's amazing. But then you have the heartfelt moments like Chesterfield King, that are just the kind of song that 75 people are going to have lyrics from it tattooed on them.
Yeah. Now, this is a year that I couldn't put myself back into 1992 and choose the record that I would have, because these records mean just that so much to me now. So I just couldn't.
What would it have been?
The Virus 100.
What's that?
Virus 100, Alternative Tentacles Virus 100. It's the Dead Kennedys cover record.
Yeah. At the time, you were just.
I listened to the fuck out of that thing.
Wow, a good covers record.
I love that thing. What's that?
A good covers record. That's crazy.
Well, I liked it.
That rules.
I think the only covers record I ever liked was there was a Black Sabbath one that Bruce Dickinson did War Pigs, I think. And his voice just is awesome. But that's it. I can't think of any of
And
their
Slayer
cover
does
thing.
Actually, that. Do you
Oh,
remember?
the Hatebreed one. The Hatebreed one's really good.
Yeah, around like 2002, there was a 7-inch like collection. Like every few months, they do a split of two bands doing Sabbath songs. Like Hope Khan is on one, but all of those are quite good.
Yeah, I don't even like In Control plays the hits. So fuck it.
Sorry, I just
Dude, that GG cover though, man.
Yeah, that was
the Blitz cover. It's all about the Blitz cover on that.
That's a good cover too.
Yeah, you know the deal on that. We covered Blitz, and then Overnight Body was supposed to cover Burn, and they never did. I got burned on that fucking deal.
Dang.
Maybe we should talk to that guy.
I know. Hate to bring up
Hey,
old
what's
shit,
up?
but I think I was gonna let him choose anything off the first 7-inch.
Okay.
But beggars can't be choosers. So anything? Let's talk about this Jawbreaker a little more. You feel like it got represented, Joe?
Yeah, and I think I'm slightly wrong on the EP not being on the official Bivouac release. Like I can't remember now because I don't have a first press of Bivouac. I have the Chesterfield King press, but I don't have Bivouac first press. I have a later press.
And where does this fall in if you're ranking all the Jawbreaker records, you guys?
E?
For me, it's number 2.
What's number 1?
24-Hour Revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Dear You.
I love it too, but I
My
like the rawness. I like Blake pre-surgery.
I like that song Kiss
Yeah.
the Bottle, and I think that's on like one where they do all the B-sides and shit, right?
That's
on
the
etc.
B-side album, but it's on a comp on Shredder originally.
That's
7-inch.
like Save the Bay or something like that, I think.
that's the fucking
But
best song.
that is the best Jawbreaker song,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
love it.
It gets loneliness at night.
Oh, down by the liquor store. Yeah, love it. All
Yeah.
right, Stu.
Yeah.
I'm doing my 1992 California pick.
That
And is
great.
it going to be the same as that?
I don't know. It might, dude. Oh, no effects. White trash, 2 heads in the beans.
So up there, but no. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
Fucking good, man.
It's a great record.
This was the first. No, this is the second CD I ever bought ever. Got it in my Christmas stocking, and
Sugar Ray number 1, No Effects number 2.
What was number
Yeah.
1?
Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray, dude. Hey, no shame, dude.
Up the Cali Punks.
Should be.
It's just there's so many good fucking songs on this thing. Like,
Johnny
yeah. Oh, dude, that's fucking
The
hilarious, man.
contemporary Johnny Appleseed.
I love that song, man.
It's got a
Got
minor. It's
Bob
got
on
a.
it.
He's got a Minor Threat cover for Daniel.
I hate that fucking cover.
Me
And,
too.
I hate it.
It's so bad, dude.
It's perfect.
But Bob,
No way,
Bob is
dude.
great. Bob is a perfect song.
Yeah,
That's like No Effects
agree.
actually being like funny, because like
but
they,
so catchy.
yeah,
With
but,
catchiness.
but they put in like there's like low key stuff in there that's funny. Like when they try to be funny, they're not funny. But when they're like low key sticking stuff in there, like
Anytime they're generally commenting on skinheads, it's actually pretty entertaining and quite right.
Yeah.
it's like perfect for waffle making or kicking in the skull or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's so
Or just
good.
like, yeah.
One of my favorite
Sticking
No
my
Effects.
eye, sold out.
Yeah, one of my favorite. Just like I like some back catalog Bad Religion songs, like saying like God Song is my favorite Bad Religion song. One of my favorite No Effects songs is on here, and it's called The Bag. I absolutely
Dude.
love it. It's like literally one of my favorite
Yeah.
songs. It's just
Who's
it's
gonna
them.
be left holding the plan?
I don't know. It's just like a perfect fast punk song. I love it.
Yeah. Or shout out to Please Play This Song on the Radio. Fucking
Yeah.
love that song.
Yeah.
I do love that song too.
Yeah.
Actually, shout out to Smelly.
What an asshole! I don't know.
Shout out Smelly. Come on the show. Let's talk about the history
Please.
of the do that do that.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
Right.
just the music video for "Sticking in My Eye" is a really important music video to me.
Because it was on the greatest video comp of
Cinema Beer
been
Tank.
known to make all around the world.
Yep.
Is that the
Full
one from?
circle.
Is that the one from Gilman?
Yeah.
So cool. See no effects of
What's
Gilman.
yours, Zach?
It was so hard to not go Bad Religion Generator because it's one of my favorite albums of all time. But I had to go Outspoken, A Light in the Dark.
Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah! Why does that miss me by?
I love this record. It's if I say that like Burn is like the apex of like how far hardcore can go and still be like rooted in hardcore, like this is another lane. There's no fast songs on here, but they're figuring out a way to like take a style, stay in that mid-tempo lane, and
Right.
just like take it a little bit darker, but not really metal, and then just dial into a topic on every song and take like your best like artistic stab at good lyrics without being like pretentious. And this is a perfect hardcore record of like 90s hardcore. And like, so it's not rooted with feet in like the first wave anymore. But it's like it's its own thing and it's different, and I absolutely love it.
It's a post Inside Out record,
For sure.
Yeah.
And what's pretty cool is, obviously this word is used way too much in describing too many bands, but this urgent and urgency is like at the forefront of the way these songs come across,
Yeah, and talking about the Inside Out ad libs, how about like that? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Oh, you love that.
Such a good one.
I know you love that.
Yeah. And then yeah, man. How about the whale sounds on on Daydreaming? And then, there's just so much good shit. There's like little like intricacies in the songs, like on This Machine Pushes On, like him doing like kind of like build up drumming when the riff goes twice and then switching to like a straight beat for like the 3 and 4. There's so many like little things in here that are so awesome. And I love the LP. I love that like the original recording is kind of fucking weird. Like the bass is like way too high and it just sounds a little funky, but it like totally adds to it. When they remixed and remastered, it sounds a lot cleaner and better, but it just loses a little something from the original recording. And
Urgency.
just some of that, like the YOLO-ness of hardcore, I think, but I don't know. I absolutely love this record, and it is my choice for 92, although Bad Religion Generator, really close, and the first Face LP. So
Yeah, I was going to say Don't Turn Away is this
Really,
year. I
really
want to
close.
throw out a couple more that
Okay.
the Strife self-titled.
Indecision number 1 from episode 1.
Yep.
15, Choice of a New Generation.
I think both Strife 7-inches come out this year, actually.
Yeah.
The New Age one as well.
I got one other. Oh, the L7 Bricks Are Heavy. That was a pretty good record too. Sam I Am Billy.
Agnostic Front, One Voice, Lagwagon, Duh.
Yeah.
But,
Agnostic Front for California.
oh no.
We haven't
I
hit
was
the.
just- okay. All right. Go on. Sorry.
These were just California bands. that's
Okay.
all.
I'll wait and do all my honorable mentions at the end.
And Lagwagon, Duh.
Yeah. Well, I said Face to Face. They're from Victorville, but we want to give Victorville to Nevada or Arizona. But okay.
I had the worst food poisoning of my life in Victorville. like literally at both ends, to quote him. Like,
Oh, fun.
yeah, it was horrible. Anyway, sorry, don't mean to potty humor it.
Shout out to the Barstow Del Tacos though. Real heroes.
Fuck yeah,
Shout out
dude.
to Del Taco. Period. We don't have one around us up here
Yeah, but what makes the Barstow one so good?
because
They're
you're
better.
in
You've been in your car for
nowhere.
you've been in your
You're
car
like,
for
fuck, I
fucking
need
hours.
Taco Bill.
I don't know, man. There's something about them. Anyway, all right, let's move on to our wild cards. 92. Daniel.
Okay. I'm gonna list all the records that were in consideration after how we've been doing it instead of a big build up. I'm just gonna go with one of the GOAT of all time records, Morrissey, Your Arsenal.
Had to make an appearance.
Every single song is an unequivocal banger. It's a transition in sound, like leaving the Smiths jangly thing that he still kind of carried on doing with Stephen Street after, and then even on Kill Uncle he like had the Madness producers, so he sounded a little like that. But this is him getting a young, youthful kind of rockabilly band that is playing his style of music, but through that kind of filter, and it's hard as fuck, and it's amazing. And if you haven't heard Your Arsenal by Morrissey, even though he has lately left his brain in El Segundo, it's still worth really checking out this record.
I will do that.
All right, let's move on to Joe.
It opens with just a really hard as fuck song for real called You're Gonna Need Somebody on Your Side. And it is
That's hard.
Yeah, it's hard lyrics and the riff is hard as fuck for real.
Joe?
Anyway.
This is a tough year for me, but I went with my 92 self and chose Faith No More, Angel Dust.
I thought that was going to show its face.
Yep.
Is this the first Faith No More?
No, it's the second record.
Okay.
This is the one with the heron on the cover, I think? Or
yeah.
stork of some kind?
Yeah, whatever it is, yeah.
Dork.
Midlife Crisis. That's the big hit off the record, but it was just great. Mike Patton doing what he does, being crazy ass before we found out about. I mean, we already knew about Mr. Bunkle, but this like set the stage for him to do that more. I guess I don't know how to explain that.
You didn't know about
And
Tomahawk
then
yet.
Brujeria and all the other stuff that he ended up doing, or had a hand in, Sepultura later on, like all the stuff that Mike touched after this is because of this record, I think. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say on it because
Cool.
Really diverse musically, like from song to song to song, while still staying kind of in a genre. That's what Faith No More do. Like,
What genre would you put them in? I don't even know.
I would say if I was pushed, prog rock or metal. But they're so groovy too. I don't know.
Punk rock.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I think that's kind of the beauty of the band, that they are genre defiant.
yeah, well, especially later stuff too. So records after this.
Yeah.
Like album of the year is fucking so bizarre compared to any of this early stuff. But by then Mike has way more control of the band too. So
yeah,
here he's still just the singer that came in after
Chuck.
After Chuck, yeah.
All right.
My other two,
Sorry.
I'll mention those later on.
All right, let's go with Stu on your wild card.
92 wild card. I just kind of went with a record that I fucking play all the time. Into Another Creepy EP. Creepy EP. I'm picking a lot of 7 inches, which I think is kind of funny, but This is actually a 12-inch EP, it's just so short. I fucking just play this record all the time, and it's just such a good rock and roll record. Richie Birkenhead's voice is really infectious to me. I just love the notes he hits. He's just everyone in this band's like super talented, and really shows on these 4 songs. There's a really, really good ballad on this, if anybody hasn't heard it, called Without a Medium. And that song always kind of brings me to tears, which is like rare for songs to do. Anyways, yeah, good record. Love it.
All right.
The way I describe Into Another to lots of people, or at least people that Into Another is like avocado. You either love it or you don't at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no one that's like, I could live, give or take guacamole on it. Like, people are either like, give it to me, and they all have, that star tattooed on their elbow, or people are like, I can't stand this.
I don't know. I think you should go cilantro then, because I think if you don't like avocado, you're kind of a foo. Or like,
I don't have any friends that don't like it.
Cilantro, I could kind of understand, although I absolutely love it.
I hated avocado till like 4 years ago, and then I had shishito peppers one day, and you know how 1 in 10 is spicy. Oh, yeah. Well, the 3 I had in a row were all like the sun being in my mouth, and the only other thing was my friend had ordered guacamole, and I just was like, I gotta get something in my mouth to calm this down, and I put a big dollop of guacamole in my mouth, and I was like, holy shit, I've been hating this my whole life, and this is so good. Anyway, the end.
Avocado pate, dude.
Avocado toast, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
Wild card.
Never own a house.
My wild card, dude. Tell me, are you a bad fish too? Are you a bad fish too? No. I went Tom Waits' Bone Machine.
Nice.
This is the best Tom Waits record. It's his comeback in '92. He hasn't done a proper LP since like '87 when he finished his trilogy, the Frank's Wild Years trilogy, I believe people refer to it as, which would be Swordfish Trombones, Rain Dogs, and Frank's Wild Years. And this is his comeback. I think that if you're going to decide between the 2 best albums of his post 1980 when he gets weird, it's either Rain Dogs or Bone Machine. And I think that this is the best because it's the most juxtaposed, like, of the fully weird songs, like The Ocean Doesn't Want Me Today. Like, it's just a fucking weird song, but the ocean doesn't want me today. Like, it's like he's trying to, like, drown himself, but, like, the water's, like, pushing him back in. I don't know what it's about. And then just, like, these gnarly fucking crooning ballads, which is, like...
It's a crazy fucking record.
Yeah, which is, like, the best of Tom Waits, is the crooners. But you want these you want these songs in between to, like, set up the crooners. And, yeah, this is the ultimate... plus it's got, like, I Don't Want to Grow Up, which was later covered by the Ramones brilliantly, but the Tom Waits version is amazing. The last song on the record, That Feel, with Keith Richards playing some guitar, it's just absolutely brilliant. There's one thing you can lose, and that feeling. So good. But, yeah. And
Doesn't he cover... Guttermouth on this record?
What? Yeah. Okay. And it's got probably my favorite crooner ever, which is Who Are You? Probably my favorite Tom Waits ballad. So, yeah, that's my choice. But 40 Ounces of Freedom was close.
Damn.
Just for the artwork alone.
It's so good.
Just for that artwork, yeah. Okay. Other things I got for 92, Bad Religion Generator, Face to Face, Don't Turn Away, Agnostic Front, One Voice, Lagwagon Duh, No Effects, which Stu got, Sublime, which is In All Our Hearts. This is the first Dark Throne black metal record, which may be the greatest black metal record ever, Blaze in the Northern Sky. You got Obituary, The Incomplete, Bull Thrower, Fourth Crusade, Cannibal Corpse, Tomb of the Mutilated, Gangstar, Daily Operation, and huge game changer, Dr. Dre, The Chronic.
Yeah.
Damn.
Daniel?
Yeah. So this might be, when we look at all of the albums, this and 94 are going to be the two that you're just like, how did all of these artists do these things in the same year, you know?
Yeah.
You got Jesus and Mary Chain, Honey's Dead. You've got What the Album by Redman. What's the 411, Mary J. Blige. You've got, like you said, Daily Operation by Gangstar. Going Blank Again by Ride. Vulgar Display of Power, Pantera. You've got Love Deluxe by Sade. The Predator by Ice Cube. You've got Love Symbol by Prince. You've got The Rage Against the Machine, self-titled. You've got Bizarre Ride 2 by The Pharcyde. You've got my other choice, which I almost did, which was Laser Guided Melodies by Spiritualized. Henry's Dream by Nick Cave. Psalm 69 by Ministry. Wish by The Cure. Sonic Youth Dirty, Check Your Head, Beastie Boys, Automatic for the People, REM. Like, what a year.
Orianus, Little Earthquakes.
Yep. And
Arrested Development.
yes, Mr. Wendell, shout out.
Avail, Satiate, Jawbox, Novelty, Iconochrist,
Oh,
Train to Serve, Nausea, Life Cycle, 7-inch, Aztec, State to State, Madball, Dropping Many Suckers.
Yeah.
also, you've
Lemonhead.
got Spotify's favorite record of all time, Slanted and Enchanted by Pavement, because no matter what artist you're listening to, when it goes to the radio part after, they'll play you a Pavement song off of that record, no matter what genre you're listening to.
Earth Crisis, All Out War,
Nice.
Bikini Kill, self-titled. Yeah, it was a great fucking year.
Dude,
And sick of it all, Just Look Around.
yes.
But,
Yeah, early 90s. This is like the greatest era of music ever.
Yep.
In almost all my
Jack
favorite
Nasty 4 on the
genres.
floor.
Yep. Only in, the 80s they got it on lock for punk and metal.
And
punk hardcore metal.
some hip-hop,
I don't know. My favorite hip hop starts here in the early 90s.
of course. We're about to get to, in 2 years, we're about to get to the year of just insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into 93, California punk and hardcore, Daniel.
California punk and hardcore, I am going, well, one of them is kind of controversial and the other one isn't. The only reason it's controversial is I reached out to the singer today to ask what year the demo came out, and he said 93, but in my head I think it's 94, but I'm going to give him, he was in the band. So, the Gehenna demo.
Oh, shout out my cheese.
Yeah. Unstoppable integrity worship hardcore from San Diego. That is unbelievable.
I did not know that.
One of my favorite straight edge lines ever. Draw back the hammer that writes your name in hell. Straight edge. I win again. Fucking hard. And my
and
other...
if you giggle, you get stabbed with a frozen hot dog.
Yeah. What?
I'll interview him sometimes too, and you'll get that one.
Oh, can't wait, dude.
And my other choice, the Rancid self-titled.
Yeah, so close on that one.
Those are my Cali choices. The Rancid self-titled for the sheer just ripping, like, especially coming out of the ashes of Operation Ivy to be like the most ripping, fast, bass-centric, like punk with hardcore overtones, like bands like Clash Worship, but at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, what's the song?
You know?
Is it Detroit or whatever? When it's like, I got a good feeling in a bad city tonight.
Yeah.
Got a good feeling.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be all right. So good, dude.
Yeah.
It is like,
Yeah, Matt.
it's so dark too. Like Rats in the Hallway. Like,
Oh, yeah. And Athena.
yeah. Yeah, there's just so much. It's like pleasing to the ear, but it's really dark, but it's up tempo. It's a rad record that there's nothing like it again before or
abrasively
after.
tuneful. It's abrasively tuneful, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's something else. I love it.
And the artwork is fantastic.
Yep. Okay, Joe, 93, California Punk and Hardcore.
You know what I chose?
What is?
Big Rusty Balls.
All right. All right.
That was the first record of theirs I ever heard, to be honest.
Dude, that's awesome.
I think for a lot of people it was. It's them on Doctor Strange, and you know, if you get in, I don't know because I wasn't around, but like I can't imagine all the Mystic stuff always being impressed. He had to have like come and gone, right? Like you couldn't always just get what happens next.
You always saw it somewhere.
Especially in a CD world.
Definitely not CD world. It was still
full CD.
Everything was cassettes for Mystic at the time.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm saying like 93 was full CD life for most people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't make that jump until the 2000s of having what happens next on the CD. Okay, Big Rusty Balls, Joe.
I was also going to choose Punk and Drublick from NoFX, but
nice.
I went with
you know Zach is.
Only because it just means that much more to me, this record. So it was an easy year for me.
Yeah. So speak on Big Rusty Balls.
You know, some guys from Oxnard. I don't know. There used to be some balls, some big buoys stacked up on Harbor. They took a picture there.
Yes, this is a weird transitional record. This is, you know, John and Tony.
I got a cough. Hold on.
Okay, John and Tony, when they did Transition in 87 or 88, they start both writing and both singing. And then they they continue this on Big Rusty Balls. Whoever writes a song sings a song. So it is like listening to it on CD. If you hadn't seen it live, it is a little interesting. Like, why are there two different singers? But that's what they're doing, and it's a cool record, cool punk rock record. And
Jimmy Just,
so good.
Beautiful song. And then Carl was saying that Fat wanted them, but they went with Doctor Strange, and then Fat got Propaganda instead.
Propaganda, yeah.
So.
Oh wow!
Damn.
Which the Propaganda
that made Fat a lot of money.
Yeah, 93 is Propaganda had to clean everything. So.
Yeah.
But,
you know, Jerry Finn produced this. Who, after he finished this, his next project was Dookie. So.
Yeah.
It was 24 Hour Revenge Therapy, and then Dookie.
And then went on to produce Blink 182 and Morrissey.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of other stuff before he passed away. But
yeah,
well, Narcor veteran himself.
Yeah,
that's epic.
Yeah, super cool. Joe, anything else on this record?
No, we can go on. You guys.
Okay, let's move on to Stu, California Punk and Hardcore.
Okay, well, I'm kind of going with the Joe theme here, and I'm picking Rich Kids on LSD, Reactivate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
this is the worst RKL record.
Yes, it is.
And it is my least favorite, but I just want to talk about it. It's like Bomber singing, and he has a beautiful voice. And it's the same members as the band, except for the drummer. Since Bomber singing, we got Derek from Lagwagon, and the drumming is so fucking good. The only funk rock I could even digest. Yeah, it's so fucking good. Like what they do. My only knock on the record, I think, is how many songs they re-recorded, because it was from my favorite record ever, and they kind of didn't play them as I, like them to be played, I guess,
right,
or what I'm used to. Yeah, this fucking record is awesome. It was on Epitaph. They were originally going to be called Slang, or I think that was what their name was. Joe, you would know. And then changed their name to RKL, or it kept RKL as their name.
Yeah, I don't remember that particular. What do you call it? Rumor, if you will.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't remember. I know there was something that was going to happen, but
Yeah, Bomber leaves the band after this because the next record, Riches to Rags, he's not on.
Nope.
So, yeah, pretty wild. Pretty wild. And then he comes back and he does the band The Other with Chris.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, so and that's a strange one, right? Because it's Chris, Bomber, and the
Boz Rivera.
Boz. Yeah, and I thought that Boz was the drummer on Reactivate, no? It's Derek?
That's what I thought. They have very similar styles, but it's credited to Derek.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, very cool. Yeah, cool pick. I do think this is their worst record, but
yeah,
because I think Riches to Rags is like kind of a comeback. But
I think it's a solid comeback record, and we'll get into that in 1995.
In a month or so. But yeah, very cool. Okay. It is my turn.
Let's go because it's 94. But
yeah, okay. Well, 93. I'm going Bad Religion, Recipe for Hate.
Great record.
This is like
you're not going Pumpkin Drublick.
No, because Pumpkin Drublick, like, while sonically is like the definition of new school punk, and you have amazing songs on it, like Linoleum and Laurie Myers. There's a lot of songs on it that aren't that great and pretty silly, and that's not the stuff I like the most. So I'm going Recipe for Hate. This is Bad Religion completely changing their sound, coming out of Generator where they'd already changed it, but Generator they come out, they're still pretty much straightforward. Outside of like the song Generator is pretty wild, and the song Atomic Garden that Daniel talked about is pretty wild. But Recipe for Hate is fully wild, of them just doing creative songwriting stuff. But there are some gems in here, like the song Kerosene is absolutely brilliant. It has American Jesus on it, which is one of their best songs. And it has my second favorite Bad Religion song of all time, which is the last song on the album, Skyscraper. Absolutely love it. And so, Bad Religion, Recipe for Hate is my pick for 1993. Although the Rancid self-titled was very close. Yeah, let's move on to Wildcard 93, Daniel.
Okay, here's one where I'm gonna Daniel it up.
Oh, you got 5 picks?
I cannot choose between these two records, and I mean seriously, there's about 15 to 20 records in 93 that I could choose, but the ones that I cannot choose between because of how much they've meant to me my whole life.
Can I guess?
You can guess. You'll guess one of them for sure.
Okay, I'm guessing Wu-Tang and Firestorm.
Well, you're close. You got one of them.
Okay.
Wu-Tang Enter the 36 Chambers and self-titled Suede album.
Okay.
Those both, like, ever since I've heard them, have not left constant rotation my whole life. No matter what I've moved on to and moved into. And what's that?
Nothing. I'm just singing some Wu-Tang.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that Wu-Tang and Midnight Marauders came out on the same day, like, God, what a release day.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Fugazi in on the Kill Taker could have easily been close here, but these two, I've never stopped playing them every month since 1993. I mean, I got a camo Wu-Tang W tattooed on my leg in 1994, you know, right before I went away to the Navy. So, like, it just, you know, Wu-Tang, what they have done to change, they just changed everything, you know? And then Suede, that sound, that Britpop sound was kind of birthed with this record.
Great.
Very glam, very T-Rex, David Bowie worship, but done in such a kind of different way. and all the songs are so catchy and so beautiful. So those are my two choices.
All right, let's go Joe with Wildcard 93.
Yeah. So this is another record that I was trying to go, okay, well, 93 Joe didn't know this record yet. 94 Joe did. But yeah. I'm going to say Propaganda. I'll clean everything.
So good. Especially the reggae song.
They do it. They show No Effects how to do it better,
I know.
don't they?
Fuck religion. Fuck religion.
That song.
You have to have at least one good reggae song.
Like Axl Rose said.
Give me some reggae. Yeah, I thought that this album was always so crazy because it was like the one Fat Records band that like the Krusties were allowed to like. It's like, dude, this song sounds like
That's hilarious.
as new school as like No Effects and Lagwagon, you know? It's just like lyrically they're political, but it's like
But I think that's what really does make a massive difference to listening to it is the fact that it could be considered what's called bro punk a lot, you know, but there's a bit more metal to it. But the fact that they're singing so politically,
that's what does it. Is
well, this is that RKL riffing for sure.
Yeah,
like it's metal kind of. I'd almost consider it more like that RKL riffy type stuff. But yeah, it's super serious. That's what makes it great. But I thought that was so funny that this is like the one thing. It's like, well, okay, so if you like this, then I mean, come on, you gotta like Lori Myers.
Linoleum.
Yeah. So what stands out on this for you, Joe?
You know, everything. I mean, the production is fantastic. This is probably in my like I think Brian Green recorded this, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that in retrospect they don't like how polished it sounds.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like the rest of the Fat stuff, so it doesn't end up sounding like everything else that Ryan Green touches in this like 4 or 5 year period.
I think it does.
The drums don't sound.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. Like it's not that fat kick. That kick is missing. But you know, Chris's guitars are just fucking phenomenal, and what's the guy, the bass player at this time?
Just call him the bass player Propaganda.
Weaker Thins is his band after this, but yeah, I don't know. It's a great record. I love everything about it.
The cover sucks.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I don't think so. I think it's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Like I see it, and it is of a time that is like, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I definitely would have had it on a T-shirt back then.
All right, I stand corrected. Cover rules. All right, Stu.
I think this is going to be the first trigger of the night.
It's a wild card, so we can't get triggered. And it's 93. Well, there's too many good options.
Well, see, that makes it even more of a trigger. So I'm picking Typo Negative Bloody Kisses.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Not a trigger. It's just an overrated man.
Oh, that's cool then. All right. Well,
it's just a bad pick. I mean, you know, but
whatever, dude.
I'm just kidding, man.
I know.
I had friends that loved this album. Like this was like their like metal dudes that it was like they liked Metallica the most, and like this was like their second favorite record.
People who love Danzig love this too because of the kind of deeper croony factor.
Yeah, I mean, Peter Steele has an amazing voice. It's like pretty undeniable how low that guy can go.
Yeah.
But I just think like the whole album is like a start to finish like must for me because the whole thing flows really well, and they like dabble in pretty much everything on this record because like they're coming out of like Flow Deep and Hard, which mean, they were playing the New York hardcore circuit. Like, they're coming from playing to like hardcore dudes and skinheads, and now they're playing to like beautiful goth women. And it's just crazy because I feel like Peter Steele like always kind of kept that like hardcore attitude and was never afraid to be like, yo, I'm still from New York and like I love sheer terror and like yada yada yada.
And will destroy you, and then also pose in Playgirl and still kick your ass.
Totally.
Yeah, and he wrote the Eliminator, so you got to have that swag.
Yeah, it's swag. Yeah, because he wrote the second Eliminator in the record prior, but I just think it's just like a fun record for me, and I think Josh Silver is like a synth genius. Like the notes he uses are and his progressions are pretty amazing, and they always kind of strike me. But yeah, I just think it's a record that people might be like, "Oh, this shit sucks." Good. I mean, at first listen, I mean, that's what I thought. But on the record itself, it says, "Don't mistake lack of talent for genius." I think that it defines the whole thing.
Well, this goes to speak to into another liking as well. Is that both of these bands are acquired tastes. You don't get them on first listen. You don't love it on first listen. It requires like some repetition, and then when you really get in the groove on these kind of bands, they become your favorite bands. Like I know so many people that Typo is like the goat to them, you know, and it's definitely not from first listen.
No, and I could totally second that. Like as a lover of the whole band, like I love their whole catalog, but yeah, it's like wasn't for me for so many years, and it is now. So love this fucking thing. It's great.
All right, my wild card is Death Individual Thought Patterns. This is the third record of the trilogy that I referred to before that started with Human, and then they did Symbolic, and then they did this one. And this is the probably the apex of technical death metal. It's not a super heavy record, but it's just wild, and it's Chuck like just carving his own path in a genre that's not even that old yet. But he's just breaking away from everything and just writing intricate, creative songs. And, you know, how we were talking about, like, Burn and Inside Out kind of being, like, the apex of what hardcore can do without, like, losing its roots. This is, like, for me, like, the apex of where heavy metal can go. Probably my favorite, well, definitely my favorite Death record, or at least the one that I've listened to the most. And, 93 was a tough year. The Wu-Tang is right there. Although, to be completely honest, I like some of the solo projects that broke away from like the Wu-Tang more so than even 36 Chambers. My favorite,
me too, but 36 Chambers had to exist for those records to be as good.
100% agree. Not arguing at all. I'm just saying that's the only way that I was able to like not pick that one is like, you know, I can't live without Liquid Swords, you know, I mean, I can't live without this one either, but I can't live without individual thought patterns either. So, this is what I choose. Also what I have on the list, Ringworm the Promise, which, you know, just talking about like the integrity before, like this is Clevo, like putting the stamp down and being like, we're here, we bring it, and we're the wildest. Earth Crisis Firestorm, complete game changer. Again, just like when we're talking about like the integrity. Now, you guys didn't mention this, so I wonder if I have the year wrong, but the Jawbreaker 24-hour Revenge Therapy, that's this year, correct?
94.
Okay. All right, that's 94, so I got the year wrong on that. Pennywise, Unknown Road, Rancid self-title. Propaganda, you guys got that one. This is Dark Throne, Under a Funeral Moon. Sepultura, Chaos AD. Carcass, Heartwork. Shout out to Heartwork Coffee Bar, San Diego.
Respect.
Black Moon, Into the Stage. Wu-Tang, the Snoop Dogg Doggy Style. And Souls of Mischief, 93 to Infinity.
Shout out Oakland.
Yep.
So fucking good.
Yep.
I also had Oh, you want to go, Daniel?
No,
No,
go
go, Joe.
You start talking.
I also had the Tiger Trap self-titled for California. I put Voodoo Glow Skulls in California too. Debatable if you want to call them punk or not, but they were pretty prolific at punk shows. So
True. They were on every bill.
Yeah, I saw them with Strife and Ill Repute. So, Naked Aggression, Bitter Youth, The Queers, Love Songs, Nirvana, In Utero, Bold, Looking Back, Bad Brains Rise, Los Crudos, Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream.
Bold Looking Back's a re-release. Just to chime in for history's sake.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like,
you're right.
It's like 89.
I did make that note here.
Okay.
Tribe Called Quest, which Daniel mentioned, Midnight Marauders came out the same day as Wu-Tang. Depeche Mode, Songs of Faith.
So good.
Cypress Hill, Black Sunday. Did you say that already?
No, but it's so good.
Yeah. And Radiohead, Pablo Honey.
It's the last good Cypress Hill record. I only like the first two, I guess. We've also got Strictly for My Friends by Tupac.
Yeah.
Return of the Boom Bap, DJ Premier producing KRS-One. Can't go wrong there. In on the Kill Taker, Fugazi. 13, Teenage Fan Club. So Tough, Saint Etienne, Janet by Janet Jackson. Storm in Heaven by The Verve. Balloon Mind State, De La Soul. What else did I put down? Oh, Reachin', Diggable Planets. The Cranberries' first record. Music Box by Mariah. Modern Life is Rubbish by Blur, one of the best albums of all time. And Republic by New Order and Souvlaki by and of course Debut by Bjork and Rid of Me, PJ Harvey, and Doggy Style by Snoop D-O double G.
Yep. All right.
Oh wow.
Okay. Dude, I was listening the other day, like on random on my phone, and that record came on, and that song "It Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have None." Jesus Christ, those lyrics could never exist.
Okay.
I was like, every word on this is fucking offensive. Like, it's insane.
Oh my God.
It is so insane. I don't know. Anyway, okay, our final year, 1994.
This was so hard.
This is the
Not
year.
for California.
No, this is the year of hip hop. This is the year of hip hop.
California hardcore was very easy for me.
Yeah. And by the way, I had no effects. I had no effects for this year. Punk and Trouble. Is it 93 or 94?
I got 93.
Okay.
I think
pull it up.
might have been recorded in 93, released in 94, but I'm not exactly a no effects historian.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll find out when we get Smelly on. And okay, so let's go California Punk and Hardcore. Daniel, 94.
It was Punk and Trouble. It was released July 94.
Yep, 94.
Okay, but for your 94
California Hardcore, Life, Love, Regret, Unbroken, New Age Records, Perfection.
Nice.
Like, we've talked about it on so many pods, but the sound that I don't think Double Time could ever recreate ever if it tried in any other way. It just comes together perfectly. The kind of piccolo snare, like actually adding to the sound so well. It's not quite piccolo, but like very tight snare. Their Integrity Worship meets Morbid Angel Worship meets emotional hardcore is just, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Slayer Worship, of course.
Yeah.
Very much Slayer Worship in there as well. And we've talked about it on other pods, but the way the layout is that strips behind how brutal and heart ripped open the music and lyrics are to show that they are like 19 to 22-year-old just dudes that still have opinions and feel the pressures of life, but they each get to curate their own page to kind of let you into their world a little bit. And I think that part of it captures my heart just as much as anything else.
Love the pick. Can't argue with it at all.
Yeah.
So,
None.
Joe, 1994, California Punk and Hardcore.
This was a little difficult, but of course I went with the Offspring Smash. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
Hey, dude.
I was about to be triggered.
That's a good record. The whole thing is good.
I love that record.
It is, but it's not
Yeah.
your pick, though.
1994, me would pick Youth Brigade Happy Hour. Me today would pick 24-Hour Revenge Pit Therapy.
I think you should go with what you still love the most.
Yeah.
Although let's talk. Happy Hour is like it's not the comeback Youth Brigade. They did one right before it, right? And then so they do something, then they do Happy Hour, then they do To Sell the Truth. I can't remember, but it's just so amazing that it's their first comeback.
It's the first because Dividing Line is I'm looking at their page right now. Yeah, Dividing Line from '86,
and then to Happy Hour,
and then Happy Hour '94. Yeah,
this is their first sounding.
And you were thinking To Sell the Truth, which is '96.
Yeah, which is my favorite.
They're
the one with
more contemporary with this record than they were, going back to sound like they used to.
But I think that's just the recording, because the songs are still like the same.
Yeah,
true.
It's just they're recording 10 years later.
In the world.
Yeah, they're recording 10 years later, and they got a bit of a budget probably. So, yeah, okay. Do you want to talk on Jawbreaker?
It's
Joe?
really 24-hour Revenge Therapy. Yeah, so Boat Dreams from the Hill. I mean, every song we could just go through them each and spend an hour on each song. We won't do that, of course, but
how good is Boat Dreams on a Hill? Like, just thinking of, like, you must walk past that boat kind of just in dry dock, on the thing every day, and you just start to conceptualize.
Like, what would this boat think and say? Like that, that concept is fantastic, and that's why Blake's such a fantastic writer. He just comes at things from different angles than other people.
Yeah.
The production is great. It's definitely not perfect sounding. There's a lot of stuff that's wrong with it, the way that it sounds, but it's Jawbreaker. So this is what you get, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah. One of the greatest things ever, Kill Your Idols, they used to do Sheer Terror, Here to Stay. And then in the middle of Here to Stay, they do You Still Hate Me? And then they'd come, come back in on the end of Here to Stay. And it's like, okay, that's the best fun cover I've ever heard in my life.
They do
the whole combination of both of them. Like they did like a Sheer Terror sandwich with Jawbreaker as the meat,
They do that, that covers on the Jawbreaker cover record.
And do they do
you love that record, Joe?
What? Who?
Is that your favorite record?
What's that?
The Jawbreaker cover record?
Is it my favorite record? No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that Kill Your Idols version of Do You Still Hate Me is on that record.
Oh, but they don't do the Sheer Terror sandwich.
No, just the Jawbreaker piece.
Yeah.
But it's the fucking maybe the best song on the comp, because it's those Andy and those guys playing from the heart. So
yeah, I mean that combo of Andy, Paul, and Gary, with Vinny, it's like there's no more heartfelt band than that version of Kill Your Idols.
They were fucking amazing. So, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this record. It's great. I love it. It means the world to me.
Condition Oakland.
Ashtray Monument.
Yeah.
And Boxcar, what a pop song.
Oh yeah.
And just the lyrics of Boxcar, like, you're not punk, I'm telling everyone, like, the whole, like, punker than thou race to the bottom, it's documented so well in that, and the coloring outside your guidelines, it's poetic, like, beyond belief.
Cool. Let's go with Stu, California Punk and Hardcore. No, I wasn't trying. I'm just trying to move along. We're at 148.
I know.
Sick. I'm going with Lagwagon Trash.
Yes. Island of Shame, dude.
Dude, I know. Dude, what an opener, dude.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, just the drum. You could just tell they got, at least the drumming too, from what I like here, is the Bomber influence and the RKO influence. Like, it's so heavy on this record. And I just respect this record for that. I fucking love it because they just run with it super hard. But dude, Island of Shame, like, Lazy, Into Know It All. Know It All is like one of my favorite songs.
Agreed.
Lagwagon.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs.
It's such a good song. And then Going South.
Mm-hmm.
Sweep here.
Bye for
Don't Go
now.
Neighbor.
How about the drumming on Bye for Now, how fast it is with like the fills. Bye for now. Didn't mean to let you down. Didn't mean to drive you away. So good.
All that, dude. Yeah, just Coffee and Cigarettes. Isn't the Brown Eyed Girl cover so fucking good?
Yeah. I mean, this is very 90s new school punk, having like a classic song that you cover, Probably like, probably cool. Pennywise doing the most famous version, doing the Stand By Me cover. And then like, lots of bands doing this, like Lagwagon doing Brown Eyed Girl. And it's a great cover.
Yeah, I agree.
Which then just leads into... Sorry, go through.
No, you go, dude. Chime in.
Well, I was just going to say the Fat Records cover band that does...
Me First.
Right, Me First, right. Which Joey's part of too, I guess, right? So.
Yeah, I think he plays guitar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a shredder, dude. It's a fucking shredder. And like a deep personal cut, deep cut for myself, being a Trader Joe's employee. On the album art, there is a piece of Trader Joe's Indonesian rice packaging, which we no longer sell, but I think that's sick.
Shout out to the old black bean taquitos, R.I.P.
It was coming up.
It was so good.
The greatest food on earth that got discontinued. It's fucked up.
Yeah, they're not vegan,
so fucked though.
Respect.
Yeah, this is like the last like really super riffy Lagwagon album. They're super riffy on Duh and this, and then on Haas they kind of like strip it down and just go like full speed production, kind of like Punk and Drublic, But yeah, this is great. I think Haas is my favorite.
I don't know.
What?
I mean, there's some pretty riffy stuff on Haas too. Violins and
what's the?
but
it's not super.
They're
that's
they're
not
shredding.
super.
They're shredding.
It's
on
not super riffy. This is like they have. This is. Oh yeah, I guess.
I'll move the car at least.
Yeah, I would say that the first two albums are way riffier though. If you listen to them, because like I don't really like that stuff too much, and it's a little annoying to me. Where on Haas, I'm not annoyed.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I think I think I know just because it sticks in my craw a little bit. That's all. So that's all. I love Lagwagon, like in spite of that stuff. Yeah, shout out to whoever.
I want to shout out to my my original pick, which I feel like wouldn't come close to a hardcore record, but Farside Rigged.
That counts.
I don't know. I don't think so. Compared to Lagwagon, I think that's more of a punk pick, but I love that Rigged album like so much.
I think you could pick that for California Punk and Hardcore, right?
Yeah.
Well, would have allowed it. Yeah, could have allowed it.
Oh, well, thank you.
So yeah,
There's
shout
double
out.
picks. Do look at that.
Shout out Farside.
Shout out Popeye.
Okay. I go Rancid Let's Go. I love the first album, but I think this is when Rancid like fully perfects it. This is when why is the name slipping me? They changed from a 3-piece to a 4-piece. They get Lars.
Lars.
They get Lars on this record, who's one of the greatest American songwriters. You know, like straight up. I think a lot of times like we downplay punk and hardcore songwriters because they play like in a niche genre, right? But this is also our favorite genre of music. It's punk and hardcore, and
how good is the opening of Nihilism?
Yeah, within like that little guitar hook that goes with it. Nihilism, doo doo doo, nihilism, doo doo doo. So good. I mean, this just has so many classic tracks on it. You know, yeah, I absolutely love it. It's super, super long, but while other albums like that can kind of not be cool, this is like, I don't know. I think it actually benefits from it because you can listen to like sometimes I'll fall in love with like side B, you know, like side B is just as good. So I don't know. It kind of like the stretch out of it is that good. So, you know, Sidekick, the first time you hear that song, you fall in love with it. And that was on one of the Punkaramas too. So it's like totally infectious. Like you hear it.
My name is Tim. I'm a listener character.
Yeah. I had a dream I was a vigilant sidekick. My name is Tim. I'm a lesser known character. You know, Salvation, fucking great song. Radio, great song. You know, and that's all the early stuff. But then Ballad and Jimmy and John, two friends of mine. Skinheads, what to claim. Gave it away.
I saw similarities, but I don't feel the same.
Yeah, gave it away is one of my favorite songs ever. My old band, It Doesn't Matter, used to cover it.
That rules.
Yeah, so that's a pretty back catalog Rancid song. And then
when I sang in Swindle, we covered Nihilism.
So good. And then Dope Sick Girl, classic. Midnight is probably the most underrated Rancid song there is. You know, because like it's like a 25-song album, and it's like the 21st song or something. You know,
Tenderloin with Matt singing.
Oh, so gritty.
Yeah,
so gritty. I think it's and then that Harry Bridges song is so like gritty. You know, oh, again the doors are locked and the windows are broken.
Yeah, the melody that guy can write, but still make it not cheesy.
Yeah,
it's so rad.
Yeah, you know, it's just weird because this album, I may have listened to this album more than any other album in my life, other than Suffer.
And the actual song, "Let's Go."
Yeah, I mean,
let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean what's the clunker? There isn't one. Like maybe Motorcycle Ride. And like that one's so funny because like they fully recycle the lyrics and put it on the next album, Out Come the Wolves.
Yeah.
So
God, what a record that is.
Yeah, which is wild because I actually didn't like it when it came out, and now I love it.
I liked Let's Go a lot more for a long time until Out Come the Wolves like kind of just took it over.
Out Come the Wolves had to like sink in because it's like they're not fast anymore. They're only fast on the very first song on Out Come the Wolves, and it's not a very good song.
Maxwell Murder, it's killer.
It's okay, but it's like they're just putting it there. Like let's start it off with a fast track. It's not. I don't know. It doesn't hold up to all these songs on Let's Go. It's just like kind of a fast song, and then like it gets into the meat of the album after that because they don't do any other fast songs on the record. So it's like just chop it and do a whole mid-tempo record. You know.
No way that song is a bang. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that year.
All right. Very good. So that's my pick. Let's move on to Daniel with your wild card. Final pick, 1994.
Okay. All right. This is the most unbelievably hard decision of all time because I could go through a list of what came out in 94 and there's probably 20 of my top 50 albums in this year. No joke.
I know. This is the greatest year of music ever.
Yeah. I am not choosing Illmatic because I know you are, so we're going to talk about it anyway.
You know I'm not, though.
You're not?
Because what do I argue on all these, dude?
I don't know.
What other album came out in 94, and what's my favorite style of music?
Diary, Sunny Day Real Estate.
Hey!
You'll know when we get there then. All right, Dan.
It's going to be Madball, right?
Yeah, set it off, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but Illmatic was like, it's right there. It's like, how do you not choose Illmatic? It's like,
how do you not choose
Ready to Die?
Biggie?
How do you not choose Ready to Die? And
how do you not choose Biggie? How do you not choose Park Life by Blur? How do you not choose His and Hers by Pulp? How do you not choose Vauxhall and I by Morrissey, arguably my favorite Morrissey record? How do you not choose
Bulldoze, Remember Who's Strong?
Oh,
Hey!
I know how you don't choose that. I'm going with definitely maybe Oasis. I can't say enough. Like, when this band came out, I liked them before their first release, just on being given a tape of a tape from a friend and reading about them in the NME before they even released Supersonic. And the reason I instantly fell in love with them was the way they looked. They're from Manchester. They're City fans. They looked amazing. They sounded amazing. And then this album comes out, and there is not one drop off anywhere throughout the record. And if you want to know what Attitude sounds like sonically, this is the record. It's unbelievable. Starts out with a song called Rock and Roll Star, which is the musings of an unsigned band, imagining what it would be like to be, or not imagining what it would be like, telling you that tonight they are the rock and roll star and you're like all in their palm of their hand. And it's true. Like, you listen to that song, you're like, yeah, I will follow whatever Jim Jones shit you want me to drink. I'm going with it, unless it causes me to break edge, which I'm not going with it. Oasis definitely may be one of the most important records of my entire lifetime, and still today, you know, it's basically my Britpop night's called "Fucking in the Bushes," named after an Oasis song. You know, they just mean the world to me.
Anyone else speak on this record?
I have nothing. I need to listen to it. All I know is Wonderwall.
What?
Hey.
What's the story, Morning Glory? That's the next record.
My bad.
All right, Joe, let's go on to your...
Dude, promise me that you will listen to Definitely Maybe by Oasis all the way
I'll
through.
listen after this, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mine is kind of easy. Well, I how do I say this? The Bouncy Souls, The Good and the Bad, the Argyle, and Down by Law, Punk Rock Academy fight song.
Nice.
I love both of those records, but Scratch the Surface
Yes.
is by far.
Yes. That bass sound. Do 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 do.
Plus. Step Down. Just forget it.
Yeah.
Fucking party song, dude.
Yeah, for real.
Just forget it.
Bands should cover that now.
Seriously, I mean, Omega Point, we've talked about it, and I think it's
Do it.
But
Please,
Stick It All is
yeah.
still around, and they're still doing it better than anyone.
Yeah, so.
It doesn't matter. You can still cover them.
Like, they will come to town and do it better than you. So,
Dude, my other band covers Ex Malcolm. I mean, we cover fucking Madball.
Hell yeah. And you should.
But
Yeah, we cover Smell the Bacon 4 times in one
I
set.
sent
That's sick.
I sent Craig. We released that video for the, the Nard song, right? Out of Trust did, and all you guys are singing on it.
yeah, so
And
let's
I sent that to Craig
let's wise up the listeners. So this is Joe's. We got to wise up the listeners because people don't know.
Yeah.
So Joe's talking about his band Out of Trust. They just released a new EP. It's available online. Where are they going to go to listen to it, Joe?
It's on our Bandcamp. It's everywhere now, basically.
Okay, so just look up Out of Trust Band and listen to the new EP. And they did a video for it, and the song is called
the
Nards.
first song, which is called Nard Song, and we had a bunch of our friends come in, Zach being one of them, to sing a portion of the song. I sent it to Craig, and then told him that they should do that with Step Down, like a tribute sort of thing. Like somebody should make that happen.
Yeah,
with all kinds of hardcore guys singing that song, like little snippets of the song throughout. I just think that would work out great for that song.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah,
Producer Joe, that rules.
Yeah. And then with Craig Armon and Pete playing the music, and I don't know what Lou would end up doing, but
he'd sing a little bit.
Yeah.
You could do the chorus.
I just thought that was cool. I love that record. Now in '94, the Bouncing Souls would have been my choice, or Punk Rock Academy fight song, like I said. But Scratch the Surface has become important, way more important to me than any of those others.
Well, the Bouncing Souls one, some awesome songs on it, but Maniacal Laughter destroys it, in my opinion. So it's good to go with a different, wait for that one.
Yeah.
And go, and of course, Sick of It All is just God level. Don't get enough respect.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first three Sick of It Alls are insane, and Built to Last is awesome too. And then, all the albums are good. And if you see them live, Jesus Christ, they're one of the best live bands of all time. So don't sleep on Sick of It All.
Still.
One of the greatest hardcore bands of all time. So okay, let's go to Stu with your wild card for '94.
Okay. Oh fuck yeah! All right, '94. I'm picking a CD, and I'm picking Assuck, Anti-Capital plus Blind Spot plus 3 other songs. That's what the CD's titled. This is probably one of my favorite bands. To give a little bit of perspective, you have a bunch of fucking hardcore kids that are living in Florida during the big death metal explosion, but they all love Youth Crew.
Yeah.
And they're all straight edge kids. And they just play death metal as hardcore kids. And then a lot of people call it grindcore, which I'm I very loosely use that term, but they're playing fucking hardcore music with crazy death metal pieces in it, and they do it so fucking well. And with these songs, it's their first LP plus their next 7-inch, which I think came out a year after Anti-Capital did, and it's fucking blazing fast, dude. The riffs are nuts. If you were to compare that Napalm Death record that you mentioned earlier, Zach, Death by Manipulation, it's like a carbon copy of that, but I think that they do it better. And she just kicks fucking ass, dude. Rob Proctor, he's my favorite drummer of all time, and I think he's probably one of the best drummers in death metal, to be completely honest. But they take death metal and hardcore at the height of also the Florida vegan hardcore straight edge scene, and blend it all together, and it fucking rules. I love this shit.
And they're playing to those kind of death metal people that are starting to come to hardcore shows to be switched onto hardcore through this band as well.
Yeah, a lot of those shows they're playing with Bloodlet and 108 and shit like that, and it's just rad to see those mixed bills, and it's just fascinating to me. The cool, it's the Blind Spot 7-inch. Chris Barnes has a guest vocal part on the last song called Inside, and he says 5 words. And I don't know if this is true, so don't quote me. But when Cannibal Corpse filmed for Ace Ventura, that's when they had Chris Barnes come over and do that guest vocal part, because the guitar player Steve Heritage, he actually worked at Morris Sound Studios out in Florida, which were like a bunch of those death metal records were recorded. And he laid those tracks down. I thought that was super sick.
That's sick, dude. I was thinking, like, if there's only 5 words, like, you know, you can't bother someone like semi-famous to get into the studio. So it's like, oh, just let's go to the payphone and you can call my fucking voicemail and lay it down. That'd be sick.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That'd be sick. All right, my wild card, 1994. My favorite music is hardcore. The greatest modern hardcore record is Madball Set It Off. I can't choose anything different. This album is fucking perfect. The production is there. It's a perfect mix of like modern hardcore, you know, and the old style. And of course, because it is evolving out of maybe the greatest hardcore band of all time, Agnostic Front, and it's Madball doing their own take on it. They got Matt Henderson and Hoya at this point, and they're the shit. This album is the fucking best, and I can't choose anything else because there is no better record for 94. What's that?
If you don't choose it, Zach will hate you like the Taliban.
Yeah. So, but 94 is fucking amazing.
It's so fantastic, but it makes me ill that Illmatic is not a choice, and now I'm mad at myself.
Yeah, I mean,
how can the greatest hip hop record of all time not be recognized for the year it came out?
It's just because I like hardcore more than hip hop, and the greatest hardcore record is there. So that's why.
It is. Life, Love, Regret. You're right. Life, Love, Regret. Mark Joseph.
You're right. Scratch the surface.
So I mean, there you go. So that's why. But no, Nas Illmatic is like, it's right there because it is the greatest hip hop record ever. And you have Biggie, Ready to Die, right there too. And another one.
I know.
Probably, you know, one of the hip hop record that's not New York that I've listened to the most, Common Resurrection. Fucking love that record, and that's this year as well. Also 10 Foot Pole Rev, Bad Religion, Stranger Than Fiction, Avail, Dixie, Strife,
so good.
Strife, One Truth, classic California hardcore record. I mean, it's a heavyweight of California hardcore. Bulldoze, Remember Who's Strong, 7-inch. One of my favorite hardcore records ever, created an entire genre. So say what you want about it, but it's fucking rad and it's important.
It created a whole genre sonically and mentally.
Yeah.
What record?
What?
What record?
Bulldoze.
It created a whole genre sonically and mentally.
Yeah.
Deep down.
Bulldoze, Remember Who's Strong. You got Dark Throne, Transylvania Hunger. Possibly the greatest Cannibal Corpse record, The Bleeding, which is the last one with Chris Barnes. Oh yeah, it's like they come out of their full Wild style and write a little more basic songs, but it works. Those first,
I agree.
Those first 3 albums are just those first 3 albums are just fucking wild. And so if you like that style, then you probably don't like The Bleeding, because they lose their wild style, but they come in and they write like really fucking good songs. And they still got Chris Barnes. So if you're a Barnes guy and you want some more straightforward songs, The Bleeding is the best Cannibal Corpse record.
Hey, but let me put 2 cents on if you're a Barnes guy. Like, I feel like this is his weakest performance as a singer.
Well, he's on his way out, and they chose to have him out here. So it's possible his heart's not in it. And
what if you're a Corpse Grinder guy? Are you okay?
If you're a Corpse Grinder guy, then this is probably your favorite non-Corpse Grinder record because this is like the style they would kind of stick with. And I love Corpse Grinder. I can't think of like a replacement singer that does a better job, you know, other than
Bruce.
Bruce, and then like who? I mean, the guy from AC/DC comes in and sounds
Ronnie James Dio.
Ronnie James Dio as good as Ozzy, maybe. but
The
I don't
dude from
think
Journey?
so. I don't think so. Yeah,
Was the young
The dude from
Filipino guy?
yeah,
Yeah, dude. Shout out.
yeah.
Respect.
Shout out him. All right, we got
Shout
Gangstar.
out to Ponce Journey.
Yeah, Gangstar, Hard to Earn. We got Warren G,
Okay.
Regulate. Grave Diggers,
Okay.
6 Feet Deep. Keith
Unbelievable.
Keith Murray, The Most Beautifulest Thing in the World. Love that record.
Good.
Scarface the Diary. And
Great.
is it J-Roo? J-Roo the Damaja? The Sun Rises in the
Wrath
East.
of the Math.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, Wrath of the Math is next year.
No, this is his debut, and this is the one that Premier does the whole record.
Yep.
So great fucking record.
You're in Raw Scoundrel, and your name is Jay Root.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
But don't forget, Portishead Dummy, Weezer self-titled,
Nope.
Beastie Boys Ill Communication.
Shout out Joe Rivas.
Shout out, Joe.
The first,
Fuck you guys.
the first of the American recordings, Johnny Cash, Morrissey, Vauxhall, and I, absolutely god tier record. Pulp, His and Hers, Stu's favorite, Offspring, Smash, Far Beyond Driven, Pantera, Experimental Jet Set, Sonic Youth, Second Coming by one of the best bands of all time, Stone Roses, and Downward Spiral, Nine Inch Nails, Dookie, Green Day. Those are all standouts, you know.
Sunny Day Real Estate.
Yes,
That's a
Diary.
great fucking record.
You said Porter. So Four Walls Falling, Food for Worms. Serpico, Preparing for Tomorrow's Breakdown. Leatherface, The Last. Battery, Only Does Die Hard Remain.
Nice.
That it?
REM Monster. That's all I got.
Cool. All right, guys.
Ready
Well,
to Die.
Dude, I can't wait for 95.
I'm like, yeah.
95 is good, dude. My 95 and my 96 lists are huge again. Like 96 is wild. Because 96.
Okay, I'm just going to say definitely maybe Illmatic and Ready to Die are my three choices for 94. I can't go out like that.
You can do it. Go for it.
We'll allow it. We allowed Skid Row being a favorite California hardcore pick. So
So funny.
yeah, the cherry's been popped on the rules are lax. Let's say that. So I can't wait to do this again with you guys to do 95 to 99. These are great years of music as well, and yeah, it's gonna be wild. It will be wild. Daniel, you want to talk us out?
Sure.
Can you hear that?
No.
Oh, here it is. You hear that? We'll give you one more try. All right, here you go.
All right, everyone out there who's listening, be like your boy Rick to life and keep it real and smash that like. Tell your friends to subscribe and be a Patreon, goddammit.
Yeah.